If you're looking for one of the more affordable, small crossovers, this Nissan Kicks might be just for you. It comes with a good amount of features, and this top SR trim comes with a little nicer aesthetic, but we're gonna take a full detailed look at the exterior, the interior, and get it out on the road for a test drive. Let's get started. All right, y'all, let's take a look at the exterior details quick of this top-end Nissan Kicks SR. So I have reviewed the Kicks before in a couple different trims, so be sure to check those videos out in the description, including a night video. But we're gonna talk just about this SR for this one. So you've got Nissan's typical V-motion grille, black grille up front. You're gonna get a lot of black accents on here with this SR trim level. Looks pretty sharp. Then you have this LED turn signal, LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, and an LED fog light to cap off this SR trim level. Nissan lets you option up to get this available two-tone paint option. There's a few different ways you can do it. We've got a black roof, gray bottom. What do you think of the two-tone look, especially with the black wheels? These are optional 17-inch black wheels, so again, you're gonna pay more for some of this optional stuff, and this is by far the most expensive Kicks I've driven. LED turn signals with those glossy black mirrors as well, and we even have optional taller crossbars up there to go with our roof rail, so you can load some bulky stuff up without it scratching up the top. And dimensionally, the Kicks is quite small, that's for sure. Dimensions are on the small side compared to even other small crossovers as well. So ending things here at the rear, one thing that we have with our two-tone package is this spoiler. What do you think of that? That actually adds a little bit of flair to this Kicks. You're gonna get a V-type shape LED taillight plus the incandescent turn signal. And then another option that we have on here is this little chrome exhaust finisher down there. I did not expect that on this Nissan Kicks, but what do you think of the Kicks exterior? Now, taking a look at the cargo area, the Kicks is actually more spacious than many of you would think. Now, as we open this up, first of all, the cargo floor is both wider and lower than I ever expected in the Nissan Kicks. And a couple practical things here. That right there is a good spot to sling a bag or grocery bags. You've got anchor points for car seats, another hook over there. These pockets are kind of deep on each side, and you have this nice little cargo cover. Underneath of here, you get a spare tire, a jack, and even maybe a little extra space for jumper cables or something. For example, there's a pretty big backpack, about the size of a carry-on suitcase. You can fit that in there easily, multiple, stack it up, not too bad. And these seats will fold down. You come to the second row to do that. And I left it like this just to show you that the headrest doesn't automatically fold. So you'd have to scoot the seat forward or move the headrest to get it to go down if you're tall enough and that back seat is far enough back. But this can fold fairly flat. It's not in line with the cargo area, but overall this is still good space considering the dimensions. And I picked a couple people up from the airport, 2 people, along with a couple of suitcases and a couple of extra bags, and we threw everything in the back and it worked just fine. Now, Nissan has updated their key fob. Look at this. You don't have the same Nissan key fob you used to have. It's the same kind of orientation, but this looks nicer and it feels nicer a little bit, and you even get remote start with this one. Otherwise, this does have the smart key system. The lock and unlock both use this button. And there's nothing on the back doors. It's just the front doors. No sensors, just the buttons. And this model gives us the Primatex, which is a synthetic material, so like a faux leather, and it's a two-tone look, and I think it looks pretty nice. What do you think of that? I have one complaint with this headrest. So you have the Bose speaker system where you actually have in headrest Bose speaker, but the edges are kind of hard. So unless your head sits right in the middle, it's a little uncomfortable. You do get used to it, but it is hard over on these edges. For the adjustments, it's very basic. It's all manual. You've got height adjustment, recline adjustment, and you have the move forward. There is no lumbar support adjustment though. Steering wheel is tilt and telescoping. I wish it could come out a little bit more. That's my only complaint. But it is a leather wrapped steering wheel, and it is a heated steering wheel as well. The button is right over there. Plus you have 2-tier heated front seats for you and the passenger. Now, climbing into the second row, first of all, this is a little more spacious than some of you might think, but it's certainly not as family friendly as larger crossovers. So for reference, I'm 5'9". This is where I like to have the seat, and where I am comfortable, I still have a little bit of space for my knees. There's a little cutout right here, so I can sit behind myself, okay? And in the middle, there's a little hump in the middle, so it might not be as comfortable to stow somebody right there, but you also have a couple of regular USB-A charging ports. For air conditioning vents, you have to rely on everything up front. Nissan gives you a little bottle holder in the on the door pocket because you don't have any others. Surprisingly and sadly, there's no center folding armrest for the backseat passengers. But I can still sit up tall and have good headroom, so if you're 6 foot, you might not make it, but under that, you should be good. Now, taking a look at the rest of the interior, let's drift over here real quick. So first of all, if you like to rest your arm up here, this is all hard plastic and the armrest is really quite small, so it's not the most comfortable to be in, but that's what you expect for this price point. Good grab handle right there. The front two windows are automatic one touch, and you actually have a pretty good sized bottle holder down there. In fact, my large bottle will fit in there. One option that we have with that button right there, you can turn on a little bit of ambient lighting and floor lighting in this Kicks as an option. We have push button start right there. And you've got a small engine, small startup, but you have a digital display right over here. And you can go through this, and let me show you. So I've actually driven over 300 miles in here and gotten 32.8 mpgs. Not bad at all. There's a good amount of information that you can see. You can change some settings on here too. And if I scroll through up at the top, you can see the different menu pages that you'll see. And you can make it look like a tachometer, so you have your physical gauge and your digital gauge there. Coming over here, the base model gets a 7-inch screen, but we have the 8-inch screen on this one. It's the same Nissan head unit that you'll see in a lot of different vehicles. You've got physical controls, a volume knob, a tuning knob, more physical controls over there. I love having the physical controls, but this overall setup definitely is starting to feel dated. We can have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto on here. It has to be wired in down there. There's no wireless Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, but at least you still get that as an option here. So we've got single zone climate control right here. It's an automatic climate control. You have the control of fan speed on the far right, otherwise basic controls down there. And then let me move this shifter out of the way. We've got parking sensors, as you can hear, and a backup camera and a 360 camera. You can even look down next to your tire. Below the AC, you've got a 12-volt power outlet, a USB-C and USB-A, parking brake, and a brake hold button. And then this is not a wireless charging mat, it's just a little spot to put your phone, but it's still a nice little area. Coming back from there, we've got two cup holders right in front of us. One is lower than the other one, so this one can sink down lower, which is nice because you've got your armrest here. The armrest is soft, even though it's very small. It doesn't move forward, but the inside is really tiny, but I've got a few things that you can fit in there, and it's got a little secondary front section. Glove box does not lock, but it is still decent size. And Nissan even put some nice material in here. I mean, you have a nice little dash panel running across right there. Otherwise, it is a plasticky, hard material up there. We've got an automatic dimming rearview mirror. This is an option right here. And we've got garage controls on here too. So we've got 3 garage openers on the bottom. There's no sunroof or moonroof in this particular car. The visors are actually really large. And that piece slides out, which is also really large. All right, y'all, we are behind the wheel of this Kicks. And now, first of all, under the hood, giving this some muscle, is a 1.6 liter 4-cylinder engine with just 122 horsepower. It's not very much, even for this class of a vehicle and this size of a vehicle. It's kind of punchy and just short spurts, but if you really got to get on the interstate, you will struggle a little bit. And it comes with Nissan CVT transmission, which is far from refined in here. It's kind of jerky, it's kind of bouncy, it feels a little goofy, but for this class of a vehicle and this size of a vehicle, it's passable and it does okay. And I think most of you will be totally fine with the way it drives. But if you really enjoy driving vehicles, this is not the one for you. So MPGs, I showed you, I'm getting almost 33 miles per gallon over 300 miles, and that's exactly what this is rated at on a combined MPG rating. So first impression of driving the Kicks is that it feels a little punchier and kind of throttly with just little inputs of the throttle. Obviously it's not fast, but it's a little punchier than you'd expect just in short spurts in town, which is very good because this is a great little compact city vehicle. Ride comfort on most road surfaces is good. I mean, if you've got a pretty nice road, it's going to feel fairly smooth, but this will get upset when you go over certain bumps, or if you're at high speeds on the interstate in particular. That's when you will really feel more of the bumps. It's not a great road trip type of car, commuting on the freeway, not the best. I think it's the best served in town. And handling wise, it handles fine. It's actually really, really nimble. That's one big perk of this Nissan Kicks. It's small, it's got tight, compact steering, and it handles pretty well. It's obviously not a good handler as far as a sporty element of carving up corners, but for day-to-day driving, it's a pleasure. And especially parking this thing, turning it in and out of spots, whew, it does a great job. Now, this does have a sport mode. It's a little button behind the shifter down here. Push that and it will show you DS for sport mode, basically. So, pedal down. All right. Now we got over 60 there. It takes a while to get moving. It really does. By the way, there's a camel. Anyways, we'll go around this corner here. So sport mode makes no difference on its handling. It's literally just the responsiveness of the powertrain, the engine and the transmission. So pedal down again. Passing power is a little scary in here. It takes a while to get going, and when the CVT grabs on and kind of downshifts, there's a little wind-up effect to where you feel like there's still some power that's still trying to come out. It's just almost very rubber bandy, which is, you know, generic term for the CVT, but that is exactly how it feels. But I don't want to harp on the way this drives too much for its price and for its purpose. It hauls you around fine. It's great in the city, easy to drive, easy to park, and it's got more space than a lot of people would expect. Road noise is not great in here. You can probably hear some wind noise, but it is a windy day. It's not bad for this size and this class of a vehicle for its noise compared to some that I have tested. But I hope you enjoyed this test drive. All the ergonomics in here are good. The visibility is also good out of here. You know, the space is good enough for this compact size of a vehicle. But let's go ahead and wrap things up. So to wrap things up on this 2023 Nissan Kicks SR, it comes with a fair amount of features. It's got surprisingly good space considering its really compact size, and it's still one of the more affordable crossovers that you can buy, especially if you lower the trim level down. So if you're looking for a small crossover or hatchback type of thing, whatever this is, would you consider this or something else? I'd love to know. Leave your comments down below. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something about this Kicks. Have a great day.